I had until the end of this week to move my website to a new place before I started paying an expensive subscription. Paying subscriptions for personal websites doesn't make much sense. I wanted to move it back to GitHub Pages. Obviously, I had to overcomplicate things. At the start, the plan was simple. There's this designer at Cursor that I really like, and I follow like a bunch of stuff he does. His website is simple and does everything I wanted, so I just wanted a place so you could link into YouTube and just mention like a couple of things about myself. I just went ahead and asked Codex to create something similar for me, which did look fairly similar, I must say. But that's not even the point. I wanted something that I could be more proud of to share, and I wanted something that felt mine. But one thing I've learned over time is that if you give yourself a starting point and a goal, creativity happens when you're trying to bridge the two things, so it's fine. This was a good starting point. I grew up making and playing games. That has been one of my passions, and I kind of sometimes want to get back to it, so why not build a simple text adventure game? And no, it's not the most informative of websites, but to be honest, I don't think anyone's going to go to my website for the information. The map is kind of like, they're metaphors for specific things that are related to me. If you think about it, this tells more about myself than any website with a list of facts. Coding is the way I used to express myself, so I just wanted to be able to do that, and I had 1 week. The website is pretty simple, and this is a link. It's not the easiest to notice that it is a link, but it is a link. And again, it's a text adventure, and see this as a CRT monitor on top of a desk. Hard to see the desk. I took some inspiration from Zork. I saw it in the news recently that it was made open source. That kind of triggered some neurons, which I must say, even though it was an inspiration, it's not like a game I played a lot. And the idea is like you can look around. So this is the main page, you get taken here. You start in this shop front. So there's like a store, there's a train station, there's a coastal area, and there's a home, my home in this case. And then in each one of those areas, there's a few other rooms. Actually, in 2 of those areas, there's a few other rooms. I'm not going to spoil too much what each one of them means, but I've left and dropped like a little hint as to what each thing is related to my life in each one of these areas. So let me know if you play the game, let me know what you think in the comments. So in the shop front, you can do things like go inside. Now it describes a little bit inside, and yes, I'm just going too fast, you cannot read, but doesn't matter. Go out, so it goes back outside. Then you can also go home. Then in there, like, there's my family, so you can talk to my daughters. And yeah, and you kind of navigate like this, and they sometimes say different things. So what I built was this simple game engine that is mostly just a state machine that can keep state of the current place in the world, what the user is doing, and then the transitions between the different rooms, and there's some objects you can pick up. And then I defined the map, although this one was more informational, and I don't want to disclose too much, but yeah, you start, it doesn't say where you start, but you start here, outside. And then what I did is I spent time explaining my content. So this is what I was iterating on. So I was iterating on the content, on getting like everything right, each room, what each room should do. So I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the idea is like, I've defined each room, where the NPCs, etc. Some in the video game room, it describes a bit more like certain items that are there, states, transitions, and all that. But this is all text, as you can see. What I wanted is a set of instructions that explains to the model how to go through that initial game text and move it into the game state and set up the entire game from scratch. So in the game, if you play it, some of the characters will be mentioning a storm. So the idea there is that every time I compile, I lose the entire state. Actually, that's not entirely true. I'll explain more in a second. This is like one of the things I wanted to explore and learn from this, is how to treat the LLM as a compiler, which I think is something that will happen more. So it can expand on my narrative style by using a style definition as well. Sometimes, as I was compiling, the model would decide to read the game engine because it needs to understand the game structure that is there, like the data structures there, and it would rely too much on the previous compilation when generating the new one. So it wasn't really replacing content. If I was starting today, I would define the data structure separately and always use it just as an input and never let it look at the previous state. And as I said, I needed to move the website, so you can now access it. Should be a QR code somewhere here. It's just myname.com. GitHub as well, so you can check. It should be in the description. If you do play, please leave in the comments. I would love to hear what you think about it. I don't think anyone will value this as much as me. The goal for doing this was just exploring, having some fun, but also, again, I wanted something that felt mine. And I must say, I was waking up every morning very excited. Also in part because I've been waking up earlier. That's a topic for another video. Sometimes it's good to just sit down and code something. I don't know who considers this code or not, but like, I was having fun. I was thinking about what I wanted to do, and I was taking stages to get there. And I think at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's more about like building something, putting something out that was in my head outside, that feels unique in some way. And also, while I was doing it, I was in the flow, I had fun, so no reason to be honest. While preparing for this video, I was also using, and a sneak peek, another application that I was creating before this one. That's for another video, but if you're interested, please subscribe. Actually, that one I'm quite keen to share more. Yeah, for today was just new website. You can check the website, let me know what you think, share what you're working on, and in the end of the day, like, this is something that gets me excited. And if you're doing it, hopefully you're having as much fun as me. Waking up every morning, get my coffee, just put out like something that I find fun and it's just pleasant to work on. If you do like this kind of like playful use of AI and just for fun, do check this other video where I was keeping the AI alive, and there's more context there. Just go and check it. I'll see you soon. I know it has been a while since this last video. Hopefully the next one won't take that long. So see ya.